Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope that you guys are having a fantastic time. And guys, I hope you're keeping positive and just, staying strong. Now guys, in today's video, I want to talk about something that I think is important. Actually, it's something that happened to me that I think it's very important to talk about so as to prevent it from happening to somebody who is planning to build their house in Jamaica. Catching this early saved me over $100,000 in labor cost. Now, while Jamaica is a very beautiful place and we all want to build our dream houses there, we have to also admit that there's a lot of scammers to watch out for during this process. There are scammers that comes in different shape and form. And believe it or not, some of these workmen are scammers, especially if they realize that you're living overseas. Some of them are very dishonest and will do anything to get you to give them more money, to pay them more money than what they truly deserve or what the job actually cost. In the following clips, I'm going to show you two invoices to demonstrate what I am saying. The first invoice is for the first two rooms that I've built, and the second invoice is for the second two rooms. So just follow along. I hope you guys learned something from this. Guys, what you're looking at is the first estimate, the invoice that I received from him. And if you look at the top of the left hand corner, you'll see the date, which was July 8th, 2021. Right? This is the first estimate. Pay attention to the quantity per square foot and the rate. Now, the ones that I underline is what I'm talking about, right? It was the cost to erect the decking and also the cost to construct the framework. And as you can see, per square foot, it was done per square foot. And look at the numbers. You see, to erect the decking, it was 325 square foot, which would come up to $65,000 because the rate was $200 per square foot at that time. So 200 times 325 would be $65,000. This is about 6 months prior to the next invoice that I'm about to show you. During this time, my mom was the one who was dealing with this gentleman. I came in afterwards. And this was because I was so happy that I finally found someone that actually know what they were doing because of some of the things that I went through with the previous workmen. So when this gentleman came around, I wanted to commend him for the work. I wanted to tell him thanks. We spoke and he sounded like someone who has been in the business of construction for many years, and I was looking at it from a point of view like it was someone that I could go to for advice, because at this point I needed some advice from an expert as to how to proceed with the construction, and so at first it sounded like someone that I could ask some questions and get advice, some good advice from, in order for me to proceed in the right way, in the right direction actually. So yes, but in the next clip that I'm going to show you, you'll see a copy of the invoice that was done in 2022. So this invoice is from 2021. And the invoice that I'm about to show you is like 6 months, exactly about 6 months afterwards. And please continue to pay attention to the quantity and pay attention to the rate. Okay? And I want to add that I completed 2 rooms at a time because I wanted to have somewhere, you know, preferably my place to stay at. Whenever I visit Jamaica, I would like to go to my place. So I came up with the idea, said, why not complete 2 rooms at a time so that I can have somewhere to stay? So the first 2 rooms that this gentleman worked on, the square footage is supposed to be more. It's supposed to be greater than the amount of square foot for the last 2 rooms that he worked on, because the first 2 rooms are bigger. So the invoice that I'm about to show you next is the invoice for the last 2 rooms that he worked on. And please continue to pay attention to the quantity and the rate. People, what you're looking at is the second invoice, which was done in 2022, exactly 6 months after the first work was done. Right? Exactly 6 months after he completed the work on the first 2 rooms. And this is the invoice for the other 2 rooms, which is smaller in square footage, but pay attention to the rate and also pay attention to the quantity. Pay attention to the rate and pay attention to the quantity, which is underlined. This is 6 months after the first 2 rooms was completed. This is the invoice that he had issued to me. He had sent to me in my email for work to be done, for the same type of work to be done on the other 2 rooms. And remember, those 2 rooms is smaller than the first 2 rooms that he had completed before. So what this is showing is clear dishonesty. Clear dishonesty. So what I'm trying to say is, be careful of communicating with these contractors or these masons or these plumber or whosoever you are communicating with from over here. Try to get someone who will be a middleman for you, so that you can communicate to that person and they communicate to the contractor or the mason. Because once you start to communicate with them straight, they'll try to take advantage of you, because they perceive it as being overseas mean that you have a lot of money and there's a lot of money where you are, so they try to milk you like a cow and take advantage of you. So this is my advice to people who are trying to build their house in Jamaica. Mind you, the square footage on these other 2 rooms is about 280 square feet. But look at the numbers on this invoice. Pay attention to the quantity. That would have been the amount of square foot. Look at this. Okay? This is 600 and something square foot, while the correct measurement is about only 280 square foot. I'm just saying this to say that you have to be more vigilant when you are thinking about doing construction in Jamaica, or when you start your construction, you have to be more vigilant when it comes to your document and what is being written in a document, because as simple as it may sound or seem, this is something that is just can be easily overlooked. This is something that can be easily overlooked, because, and especially if they think that you're naive to what you're doing. Because remember now, I started to trust this guy, and he was aware that I did not understand some things in construction, building. So I think what he did, knowing what he knew, he tried to take advantage of the situation, not knowing that I would have catch up on him. Guys, it is very important to know how to calculate measurements. If some of the workmen realize that you don't know what you're doing or you don't know how to calculate, they will use it to their advantage to charge you more. Well, guys, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel.